Thank you so much, Chris. Somebody look at the resume that also determined real quick that I can't hold a job either. So it is a tremendous honor for me to be at Goddard Space Flight Center to acknowledge and congratulate the recipients of the NASA awards here today. And thanks for Chris coming down to Huntsville to celebrate our momentous occasion as well. As Chris said, these are NASA's highest awards. So those of you receiving them represent the best of NASA. Some of you are accepting individual awards. Others are being recognized as a team. None of us succeed without teamwork, both professionally or personally. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the families, friends, and supporters that are here as well. There's been numerous times I know that you've put up with us, that we had one more day to spend in Washington, D.C., or one more day on the West Coast, or we missed our flight, or if you just take care of the baby one more time, I'll make up the time on the weekend. So thank you so much for the families and supporters who are here today, and let's give them another round of applause. So I guess at least some of you are wondering why the Marshall Space Flight Center director is here at this very personal gathering at Goddard Space Flight Center. So the first thing is I'd be the only one who showed up for what Chris is paying. That's number one. And the second thing is, oh yeah, you promised that pony from Chincoteague to my daughter. Seriously though, we have more in common than you may think. And I believe, as Chris mentioned, we go back a ways, but some of our proudest moments is in what you do as an accomplishment. We get to represent this agency on so many platforms, but one platform was in the Launch Control Center at Kennedy Space Center for, as Chris said, the shuttle flyout successfully. And Chris at the time was the acting administrator. I was the director of the Stennis Space Center. We're on the council at Kennedy Space Center. We don't get to touch any buttons. The only thing we get to do is change the radio stations every now and then. That's what our job is. But since it was both, one of those things was our first launch, a ceremony or a ritual at Kennedy Space Center is if it's your first launch on the council, you get your tie cut. And so Chris and I happened to be there the first time, so literally we were congratulating people in the Launch Control Center, and there was an employee, Jody Singer from Marshall, whose job is to sneak up and cut your tie without you knowing it, apparently. So Chris and I had to go downstairs. The other tradition is they serve beans and rice down in the lobby area after a successful launch, and I'm sure there are other traditions that you guys have as well. But it's really awkward when you have your tie cut. You're trying to have some professional decorum in the lobby, represent NASA, and you look down and half your tie's cut. And believe me, you try to button your coat as high as you possibly can. It just doesn't work. So in the next hour of my speech, as Chris said, just kidding. Chris and I, again, work together more than we compete. Like all the center directors, we talk about the challenges facing NASA, our centers, and you, and how we can best partner to overcome them. Our centers share a strong engineering and technical background. In the labs and in the high bays where the real work and the real fun take place, Goddard and Marshall are working together. And that's important because the field centers and their technical capabilities are the heart and soul of the agency. By far, our most important collaboration today is the James Webb Space Telescope. You're doing an incredible job fully developing, manufacturing, and testing JWST. Marshall is proud to support that in testing at our X-ray and calibration cryogenic facility. And as a matter of fact, as y'all know, the JWST backplane just arrived there last week. We'll take great care of it with adult supervision that you guys provide us all the time. We tested 16 spectrometers for Goddard's magnetospheric multi-scale mission work. We sent engineers up here to the Wallops facility to be able to help you guys construct and activate the launch facility at Wallops. We collaborated on a balloon-carried X-ray telescope called Hope Heroes, and Marshall is developing a new rocket to replace the Black Brant motor that'll hopefully increase the launches in suborbital to be more reliable so you guys can have more success in the suborbital market as well. Those collaborations are a model that I hope we'll be able to duplicate more often in the coming years. Currently, Chris and I are looking at our center discretionary funds and investment funds to look at grassroots opportunities so we can look at even things as simple as the $10,000 or the $5,000 or the $20,000 mark so we can build that collaboration and trust amongst the organizations across the board. And where I come from, they take football very seriously, so my attitude is look, if Alabama and Auburn fans can get along in the state of Alabama, surely Goddard and Marshall can get along to explore space. And we look forward to that. Of course, we spend a lot of time talking about what we do. We spend less time talking about how we do it and contribute to success. That's just as important, particularly in the times we live today. Certainly the how part is the reason why most of the honorees are going to be walking across the stage this afternoon or this morning. And I'd like to offer my own thoughts for your consideration on how we can best partner in the future for consideration. Affordability is a must. We need to find ways to increase our partnership. Winston Churchill, in a variation of a quote that he said once was, "Gentlemen, we're out of money. Now we must think." So hopefully we can look at those kind of ways to look for increased partnerships. We need to appreciate diversity of thought and experience. Be flexible. Find ways to encourage people to speak up and offer the best ideas. That's what separates NASA from other government agencies and indeed the industry. We are a vital part of our communities and this country. Take time to be informed. Take time to be a part of your community. Give back to it when you can. Volunteer when you can. We're all ambassadors for NASA. We should feel compelled to encourage the youth to pursue their education and let them know working for NASA is within their grasp. Don't forget or neglect your family and friends. They are the reason you go to work, and it's the most important support network you've got. Be honest, be who you are. You bring unique value and perspective. Focus on the job right in front of you, not 2 or 3 years down the road, or what may or may not happen. Let Chris worry about all of that. Let him find the money for Goddard Space Flight Center. He's really good at it. Remember, it's not always about you. Don't put yourself first. It's about the people around you. Network, seek out mentors, and then be a mentor. That doesn't mean using people. It means valuing people around you and what they bring to the table. Never let your life be defined by your failures or how many times you get knocked down. Persistence and determination can do for you what your education and knowledge cannot. Goddard and Marshall share an incredible legacy that dates back to the early space program, and our centers are both named for iconic space pioneers. These two icons had an interest in science and spaceflight at an early age. Both had experience and similar insights in doing things that were regarded as impossible at the time. Goddard once said, "For even though I reasoned with myself that the thing was impossible, there was something inside which simply would not stop working." A similar version from von Braun was, "I have learned to use the word impossible with the greatest caution." Of course, von Braun was very much enthralled in the midst of the enormous Apollo program when I think he said one of my favorite quotes, which is, "We can lick gravity, but sometimes the paperwork is overwhelming." So I say be patient. Don't let the bureaucracy get to you. The right thing always happens. It just never seems to happen on your time frame, does it? That's the legacy our namesakes left for us. We do the impossible. And the people we honor today show how to do the impossible, whether that is in engineering, science, business, human resources, IT, education, or other fields that make our successes possible. Goddard also said something else that I think is relevant for today's gathering. There could be no thought of finishing, for aiming at the stars, both literally and figuratively, is the work of generations. In this room today, there are many contributions to engineering, science, discovery, and exploration, as well as crucial advancements to mission and institutional support. Your work adds to the body of knowledge that makes our nation stronger, and that inspires a new generation of explorers and discovery. Your example has had an impact beyond the work that you do directly. I have no doubt that your colleagues are proud of you. The next generation is proud of you. The industry that surrounds Goddard is proud of you. And I know you're each proud of each other as well. Aren't you proud of each other? Go ahead and tell the next person next to you that you're proud of. Now go ahead and tell the person behind you I'm proud of you. Your passion for your work, your leadership, and your drive are just as inspirational for the people looking to follow in your footsteps or who rely on you to do the job. Goddard Space Flight Center plays a vital role, a starring role, in doing the incredible, impossible missions of exploration and discovery that makes NASA world famous. Good luck with the upcoming launch of Laddie. I'm honored to be a part of your ceremony, and I want to thank you again for your enthusiasm, dedication, and support of NASA missions. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Chris, Representative Edwards, if you wouldn't mind coming up, we are about to start the formal part of the ceremony and hand out some awards. Okay, our first award category is the Group Achievement Award. This is a team award presented to a group of government employees or a group comprised of both government and non-government personnel for an outstanding accomplishment through the coordination of many individual efforts which have contributed substantially to NASA's mission. We will present 34 team awards. The first, the 2012-2013 Antarctica Campaign Team. For the highly successful 2012-2013 Antarctic Long-Duration Balloon Campaign for NASA's balloon program. Accepting on behalf of the team is Gabrielle Goddard. Next, the Aircraft Office Team. For exceptional aircraft engineering and operations achievements, outstanding teamwork and perseverance in support of the NASA's Earth Science mission. Accepting on behalf of the team is Richard Rogers, but he is unable to be here today, so please join me in applauding their efforts. The Columbia Scientific Balloon Facility Antarctic Scientific Balloon Team. For the planning, organization, and execution of the exceptionally successful 2012-2013 NASA Antarctic Scientific Balloon Flight Program. Accepting on behalf of the team, Jason Link. The Detector Characterization Laboratory. For engineering excellence in detector testing and technology development, contributing to the success of NASA's missions. Accepting on behalf of the team, Roger Foltz. The Earth Observing System Aqua Advanced Microwave Scanning Radiometer Instrument Recovery Team for efficient, effective, and exemplary engineering and safety analysis for the safe recovery of the EOS AMSR-E instrument. Accepting on behalf of the team, William Good. The Global Precipitation Measurement Command and Data Handling Subsystem Team for outstanding achievement in the development of the Command and Data Handling Subsystem electronics for the GPM mission. Accepting on behalf of the team, Scott Persley.